Hello everyone and welcome to Content Marketing Insider powered by Repurpose.io. It's me again, Roy Garcia. Thank you for joining us. As you know, podcasting is getting bigger. Spotify, YouTube, and everybody else, they're trying to get into the whole podcasting flow of things. But did you know that podcasting can actually be used for your business? Well, that's why we're here today. Please help me welcome podcaster, entrepreneur, and someone who loves podcasting, that he's one of those who are leading the trail and bringing the community together. Please welcome Mr. Chris Cownden. Chris, welcome to Content Marketing Insider.
Thank you so much, Roy, for having me on the podcast. I'm really excited to talk today.
Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it that you can come on the show and talk about podcasting and how it can help our listeners, whether they're entrepreneurs or business people or content marketers. Podcasting is one of those ways that can help them get their product, their service, their message across. And well, before we go to that, Chris, I want to know a little bit more about you. Just tell us just a little bit of who you are, how you got into podcasting and everything in between.
Yeah, awesome. So my childhood career, going back a couple of years now, was as a chef. I had worked from the age of 15 to 23 in the hospitality industry in America, Australia, Europe, and had to give it up for health reasons. 6 ankle operations, which left me housebound. That gave me a lot of time in recovery to work on different skills like video marketing, video editing, typing. And I got fascinated with the internet marketing space, dabbled in network marketing. Although it didn't work, it did make me appreciate the value of a network and building strong relationships. So that's definitely a highlight that I took from there. And then one of my dear friends in a video marketing community that I was part of said, "You'd be really great at doing podcasts." So he set me a challenge. And in 2021, I interviewed 50 founders in a very short period of time. And that really just fueled the momentum that momentum is still going on 2 years later.
Talk about a journey from being a chef to doing podcasting. That could be like a movie in itself. That's a great journey. A few years before, he was cooking up a storm in the kitchen. Now he's cooking up a lot of things for the podcast community. And we're going to talk about that today. And I'm very excited about this topic because, Chris, our topic for today is podcasting to build your network and authority. So let's get to it. Podcasting to build your network and authority. We've got 3 points, and we're just going to break it down one by one. First point is that you have the ROI of being nice. So podcasting to build your network and authority, there's an ROI of being nice. Not something that I really expect. Most people say, buy this equipment or do this and that. ROI of being nice? Tell us more about that.
I have found from experience that being kind, being interesting, being curious about somebody else, having great intentions is a lot more rewarding for you because you feel great, but also you build some really great relationships that way. In 2018, a devastating experience happened in my life. I got scammed by fraudsters in a Bitcoin scam. In that period of my time, I felt like lying to friends and family to cover it up. And in that, there was a lot of guilt. And I wasn't being very nice to others, to myself. So I know what it's like to not be nice. And that didn't produce great results in my life. It led me down a really dark tunnel. So I switched it up, being nice, feeling great inside. And I've noticed that being kind, being vulnerable, being transparent, being truthful, these are all parts of being nice, and it really does help with the networking.
That's a very heart-wrenching sharing of facts. Honestly, it's not every day that you get to hear stories like that from business people. Sometimes the things that we realize today is a product of experiences that we've had in the past. I think being nice is sometimes put under the rug when it comes to business because it's like a dog-eat-dog world in business. And being nice or even playing nice is not something that is rewarded with good things. But in your case, it's a return of investment. So what do you mean by return of investment of being nice?
I usually have a necklace on that says karma. So everybody believes in good karma or bad karma. And if you don't, then that's totally fine. But I feel like the more goodwill I get, the more I will get in return. I don't expect anything from anybody else, but I see that the more great things I do for people, the more they want to help me as well. And through the podcasting journey, if you interview somebody, a leader in a particular industry or just the everyday business owner, and you ask them how you can help them, what they're struggling with, or if they need support in this, you do a lot of stuff for free at the start. In most cases, if you don't have a business already or don't have an offer out there, and you build that trust and you build those relationships of being a nice person. And if you have an offer or you're working on an offer and you have something ready, then you can go back to that person 3 months later, 12 months later, and they'll remember you for being a kind person rather than, oh, he sold to me. He was spammy. He didn't follow up with me after the interview. I make sure that I'm sending a message every now and then to somebody that I spoke to 2 years ago just to say, oh, I thought of you. But my intention is always clear, is I want to build a relationship with you. I want to help you and be friends and be like a family member, not I want to make money from you. That's not the case.
That's true because I can say from experience, Chris is one great guy. I mean, he would follow me up, ask me stuff, and like, how's it going? And he actually does it from the bottom of his heart. And I think that's a key thing that when you want to do something nice, it's not a manipulative motivation. Like, I'll be nice because I want to have something from you, I want to get something from you. But it's genuinely being nice. It sounds elementary, but usually nowadays it's kind of hard to find genuine niceness. There's such a thing called niceness. But how can one be nice?
Oh my goodness.
How can one be, nice and accommodating and just really be a good person?
I'm an introvert, but I get excited and become an extrovert around different kind of people like yourself, Roy. Where does it come from? I would just want to be around great people, and I choose to be around great people. And when you're around the right people and you feel like you're around the right people, they're also the same as you in lots of different ways.
I think that's important. Community is important. If you're listening to this podcast, let me ask you, are you part of a community with shared values? And I think it's important that in that community, being nice, I know it's a 4-letter word, it's very childish to think about it, but it's one of those things that are very rare nowadays because everybody seems to be wanting, something. A lot of people are skeptical, but there's a genuineness when you actually come forth as someone really being nice and helpful and all of that. And I think that's very commendable, Chris, to really say that as a first point before building your network and your authority is just be nice. Can we just be nice? I mean, what's
Just
the worst that
smile.
can
Yeah.
happen?
Yeah. What is the worst?
So, first point is the ROI of being nice. And I think that's a great foundation in building your network and authority through podcasting. But point number 2 is, well, Chris is going to give some pro tips in building your authority as a podcaster. So, I'm sure a lot of people want to know, Chris, give us some pro tips.
So, podcasting pro tips, quality first. Quality at the start scared me because I didn't have all the resources. I didn't have the biggest budget to start a podcast. I just bought this same mic. I had these existing headphones and I did the best that I could at interviewing and connecting with people. So if you're going to start a podcast from the start, pick a good quality mic that's going to last you for 2 years. And this is probably going to need an upgrade soon. Well, there's a mix of bootstrap podcasters, people with budgets, people with an unlimited amount of budget. This is the microphone I use. And what I've done is I've upgraded it as I go. Start first, then improve the quality, but go back to quality always. Quality of the people you hang around with, quality of the equipment you have, and quality of the finished product. Second is really focus on those relationships and networking, but coming from the perspective of being nice, great intention, and just pair people together. I'm really good at pairing people together, and it seems like I'm always the common denominator. I was talking to a client who were helping set up her Web3 podcast, and she said, I have a 40-year corporate career, but I don't know anybody in the Web3 space. Well, I'm sure the people in your network might know a couple of people. What's important to me is abundance, growth, community, teamwork. And if I can find people that have communities that have those same values, we're going to get on. If you're interested in the collaboration side of podcasting, I'll tell you now, the podcasting industry is built on teamwork and collaboration. So if you feel like you like to do things alone, great. There's so much more you can achieve as a team or as a community. So definitely be open-minded to finding your people and reaching out to them and say, oh, I love your personality, or I love your smile. Just break the ice. And there's a lot of podcasts you can listen to. You can leave their review. There's loads of ways you can build relationships. Probably 30% of the people in the community are starting from a bootstrap budget. But I would say that the people with an unlimited amount of budget also want to buy great tools at a phenomenal price. So we leverage a platform called AppSumo, which is a marketplace of tools. So what I would say is be as frugal as possible when you're starting out, if you're intermediate and advanced, because there's some phenomenal tools on there. I'd rather you make money than spend money. So podcasts are meant to be profitable and the margins are really great once you figure it out. Using AppSumo to get lifetime deals, and we do recommend some tools. We created a collection with AppSumo. It's a podcast collection with our favorite podcast tools, so you can get everything there.
You mentioned the first one is really more of equipment. And I know a lot of people can have a lot of analysis paralysis when it comes to not just equipment, but how to do things. And you were saying earlier that a lot of people are doing bootstrap, but you still want to make sure that it's still of quality. If you can afford a good microphone that can pick up your voice. A lot of us in the content community say that you can have a not so good video, but if your audio is bad, then that takes away everything. You want to make sure that when you invest on your equipment, it's something that's good for that moment that can help you get started. And then eventually you can get other stuff as well. Because we can have like analysis paralysis about that, right? Because you can have a lot of stuff but not get started. I'm speaking from experience.
It's a trap. It's a trap that people get into, and it's a big circle. Then it goes to self-doubt, and then you don't take any action. So rather than overthinking, just say something great that you've done in the past and really build that self-esteem, and then write down what you want to do, maybe a couple of bullet points, and just take action. And what's the worst that can happen again?
There's just so many tools that are available today, guys. And there's just a lot of applications that are being sent out, not just in AppSumo, but everywhere. Don't just buy and buy and buy, but make sure that you use them. And that's something that you can use for your business. Repurpose.io is actually one of the great tools, right? And Chris is actually using that.
Yeah. Let's talk about Repurpose.io. What I love about it is that I can set up a couple of connections and create 2 workflows, and it will do it automatically for me and send out to different places that I need it. Most of the time it's Zoom to Google Drive or YouTube to Google Drive, so that then I can create it somewhere else. And YouTube to YouTube, just into shorter clips. But I love the ease of the platform. I love the new features that have come out, the platforms that you're integrated with. Hani is a member of the podcast launch community as well, and has been a guest on some of the podcasts we've launched. So yeah, it's a really great platform to repurpose your content, because being everywhere is great, but if you can't do it right at the start, don't worry. Create the content first, then at a later date, repurpose.
And with that, we just want to invite everyone who's listening right now. If you haven't tried Repurpose.io, there is a 14-day free trial. And all you need to do is just go to the description below of this video and go and try it out. Sign it up for free for the next 14 days and see the power of Repurpose.io and how it can change your content marketing strategy. Now back to our guest. Chris mentioned Repurpose.io, and I'm very thankful for saying that. We're not paying him to say anything. I didn't coach him to say anything. He's just one really happy user. And we're talking about podcasting to build your network and authority. We have 3 amazing points here. Number 1, the ROI of being nice. Be nice, people. It doesn't hurt to be nice. And it's one of those things that are very rare today. So go ahead, be nice. Be nice. Number 2, he mentioned some pro tips in building your authority as a podcaster. First one that he mentioned is make sure that you invest on equipment that can help you sound professional and with good quality. Number two, be part of a community that can help you leverage your time, your connections, and all of that. And then third is we talked about using tools that can help you in making things more efficient for you, knowing that as a business person and a content marketing person, you don't have a lot of time. Third point, how to use podcasting as a business. A lot of people may not really see this as a tool because maybe some would rather go for, funnels or landing pages or ads. But how can a business person use podcasting for their business?
If you build a community based on values of collaboration, community contribution, growth, there are ways to collaborate with people. And I would say I'm a master collaborator, or I find expertise in people and I say, you would be great with this person. And I see what magic they can create together. I would focus right at the start on building that community, whether it's a paid community with Patreon or a free community, and then you upsell them into a private community. If you do a challenge, or if you build a course and you sell that for free, then with the upsell would be a consultation or something. When you think about leverage, who do I know that can help, rather than how do I do this? How do I figure out web design? How do I figure out SEO? Because once you do that, you're doing too many things. Stay in your lane. I'm staying in podcasting, and I'm leveraging my connections that can help with web design, that can help with branding, that can help with SEO. And all of these forms on collaborations and partnerships, which all pay me, whether you're in content marketing or web design. Stay in that lane and find people that align with your values that you could build a really good relationship with.
When you mentioned something about collaboration and the network and all of that, I think the importance also of a podcast can create authority in your niche, in your product, or in your service. Do you think that podcasting can be a really viable tool to establish authority in the niche that you belong to or in the sphere that you belong to? What do you think about that?
Yeah, collaborations is really easy. And it goes back to the foundation of being nice. That's the opportunity to talk to them. And I wouldn't say I'm a hard seller. I don't like calling people and say, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. I'd rather sell to somebody's audience. So find people that would be a great fit for you. That's where collaborations happen.
And I think that's also important, that when you start leveraging on the collaborations, your business also starts to grow. Let me ask you this question. Is podcasting for everyone? Is podcasting for every business owner, every entrepreneur? And if it is not, then who is it for?
Yeah, good question. That is a great question. Podcasting is for everyone. My personal goal to start the podcast right at the start was to improve my communication skills. So before you start thinking about, money, making money and building relationships, go back to the core. What skill do you want to learn from being a podcaster? Is it an editing skill, or is it as core as communication, or is it self-esteem or self-confidence? Once you get that, then it's like an internal motivation to keep doing it to improve that skill. And the other things come eventually. If you build the right connections, you can have the right collaborations, you can leverage whatever you want. And I find that the podcasting industry, and I'm a big advocate of this, is everybody seems to be accessible. Everybody that I've asked to be on a podcast for myself or my clients have said yes, because what do they want? They want authority. They want to build their network. They want to leverage my community, my audience. And you can go back to quality, is the quality of the people that they're around. So they're having interviews on podcasts to leverage my audience, to leverage your audience.
Thank you so much, Chris, for those wonderful nuggets of wisdom when it comes to podcasting. We want to encourage our entrepreneurs, our content marketers, our business people who are watching this podcast. Get started, get involved in podcasting, check it out, see how you can get involved, whether you're starting your own podcast or being a guest in the podcast. There are people waiting to hear from you. We want to thank Chris for the time, spending this time with us today. And I'm sure he's going to be in one of our future episodes again. But again, Chris, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Roy.
And that concludes our episode today for Content Marketing Insider, powered by Repurpose.io. Again, this is your host with the most, Roy Garcia, and we'll see you again next time.